for your Tempur-Pedic mattress. Woodstock Furniture and Mattress Outlet, where North Georgia buys Tempur-Pedic. Tonight, catch a new NCIS Los Angeles on CBS.
Week 8 in the NFL.
There's Jacoby Brissett. Is he a franchise quarterback? Let's see. He's big, strong, mobile, smart, has a really good arm. I'd say the answer is yes.
There's Jared Goff in London. He's had 3 straight games under 60% completion percentage. Facing Cincinnati today might be the perfect remedy.
And there's Kyler Murray, winner of 3 in a row in those games. He has found his flow, but today's game in New Orleans isn't going to be a breeze.
It's not going to be a breeze because Drew Brees is back and he's going to be playing with that thumb contraption he has right there. I mean, you know that Chandler Jones is going to be looking for him because he is a franchise quarterback, Phil.
There you go. Thank you.
And hello, everyone. I'm James Brown. Welcome to the NFL Today presented by Jeep. Doubleheader day here on CBS, so let's get right to the Week 8 headlines. Bill Belichick looking for career win number 300 today against the team that gave him his first coaching job. That would be the Cleveland Browns with a Patriots victory. Belichick will join NFL legends Don Shula and George Halas as the only men to reach that impressive milestone. And fresh off of their Week 7 shellacking of the Falcons, Jared Goff and the Rams are in London today looking to keep things rolling as they take on the Cincinnati Bengals. And as I think Nate already said, things are looking just a bit more breezy in the Big Easy today as Drew Brees makes his return from a thumb injury. But despite that absence, the Saints have done just fine.
Drew Brees out? Drew Brees will miss about 6 weeks.
So Bridgewater taking over.
Wow. We're playing a game without Drew. All right, that sells papers. I got it. It happens at other positions, and it's unique when it's the quarterback.
And there he goes. Going to take it the distance. The Saints get a big win on the road.
No more. Cherish this feeling of winning.
A phenomenal defensive performance. Mike Thomas, touchdown. The Saints are now 3-0 without Drew Brees. This is a very dangerous football team.
This team knows how to survive, and that's what it's all about.
The Saints rolling right along.
Hey, folks, here in the cozy confines of Studio 43, I'm joined at the desk, as always, by my colleagues, the in good attitude today, Phil Simms, Coach Bill Cowher, Nate Burleson, and Boomer Esiason. All right, folks, we'll hear from them in just a bit. But first, the big news of the day, yes, the Saints machine kept rolling without Drew Brees, Sean Payton, Teddy Bridgewater, and the defense were on point. But Brees is back, and for more on that, we head out live to New Orleans and welcome in Rich Gannon with the latest on Brees' return from injury. Hello, Rich.
Hello, JB. Look, the biggest thing we found out this week about Drew Brees is that he is a fast healer. Keep in mind, he tore that ulnar collateral ligament on his right thumb September 15th. 3 days later, he had that internal brace ligament augmentation surgery. And really, the benefit of this procedure is that the patient is able to begin the rehab process right away. He stayed in Los Angeles those first 10 days working with a physical therapist. He said that those first few days were critical in terms of getting some of that range of motion back in that right thumb. Now, before the procedure, he reached out to a number of professional athletes who had this very same injury. Chris Paul actually had it in both thumbs. Andy Dalton had this injury late last season, had the surgery in the offseason. A.J. McCarron had this partial tear in training camp this summer, didn't require surgery. And, of course, Mike Trout had this injury back in 2017. Now, he still has some swelling and some limited range of motion in that right thumb, but I've got to tell you that I was at practice on Friday. I watched Drew Brees very closely, and you really can't notice a difference in terms of the velocity and the accuracy when he's throwing the football. I thought he really spun the ball well. Now, he will wear a wrap. He's not going to wear a glove. He's going to wear a wrap on his right thumb, and really the purpose of that is he's got a protective shield on top of the thumb to protect that incision and the repair. Now, JB, my biggest concern would be ball security. keep in mind now we're talking about a quarterback that hasn't played the last 6 weeks, hasn't handled the football in the pocket, and to make things more challenging today, he's going up against a very good defense that has two really good edge rushers in Chandler Jones and Terrell Suggs, who have combined for 223 career sacks.
Wow. Hey, Rich, thank you so much. And I'm sure our quarterbacks will have something to say about that as well, too. So everything is looking up for the Saints. They have folks been marching to the tune of a 5-game win streak, and now Mr. Breeze is back.
Yeah, you know, when Rich Gannon said he went out there and studied him at practice, we know he studied him at practice. He watched everything. But, you know, Drew Brees has this going for him. He's going to be coming out there today after a 5-week absence, and he's going to play behind the best offensive line in the NFL. So that has to give him some ease his mind a little bit there. Now, Boomer, you know, even though Drew Brees has played 19 years, there's still a little anxiousness and being nervous when you go out there. So Sean Payton's going to call some easy passes, get him in rhythm. And what's so great about their offense, it has power, finesse. They have gimmicks that Sean Payton calls, you know, reverses, screens to keep you off balance. It's a tremendous offense.
You know, when you think about the New Orleans Saints too, Phil, 5 of their 6 wins have involved 1-score games. So this team is very comfortable playing close games. Now, you've referenced their offensive line. I would say their defensive line is as strong. They got 4 #1 picks in that defensive front, Sheldon Rankins, and led by really Cameron Jordan with 7 sacks. And on the back end, they've been playing together for a while now. Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple, those 2 guys, they're giving up 6th in the league in yards, 6th in sacks. This is a football team that plays very well together, complementary football. But you're talking about a team that's got a little bit of mojo. That's the Arizona Cardinals coming in on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, you mentioned #1 pick. How about the #1 overall pick in Kyler Murray? Just like any other rookie quarterback, he's had some struggles. The first 4 weeks, he was sacked 20 times. So a little bit of a protection issue. Also decision-making. The last 3 weeks over this win streak, though, sacked 3 times. Sometimes that self-reflection comes with self-correction. It seems like right now this offense is fixing things. And I know we have an eye vision a little later with our quarterbacks. That's called a tease.
Well, here's they're going from the outhouse to the NFL. 3 teams, the Falcons, Bengals, and Giants, a combined record of 3-18. That's who their wins have come against. They're now going to the penthouse. It's on the road. It's in New Orleans, and they're playing against one of the best defenses. This will be a much tougher game for Kyler Murray than the previous 3 games. That's why I think maybe today a little step back.
All right, folks, and for more news and notes from around the NFL, we welcome in our NFL Today insider. That will be Jason Lockenfor with some news on the future of Tom Brady.
You know, Brady's sole focus now is on one thing, JB, winning a 7th Lombardi with the Patriots. Now, if Brady does consider playing somewhere else in 2020, people close to him believe the Chargers would be that team. Brady has strong business ties to the area. He has friends, family, and trainers in L.A. The Chargers are struggling to gain a foothold in that market, and Phillip Rivers, like Brady, is a pending free agent. Patrick Mahomes is out tonight, as expected, and I'm told it would be a stretch for him to play next week. However, he's making rapid progress from a dislocated kneecap. He should beat that original 4 to 6 week projection and expect several more big trades before Tuesday's deadline. The Jets will deal wide receiver Robbie Anderson, sources said. The Patriots are pursuing help at tight end and offensive line. The Eagles and Chiefs are interested in corners like Chris Harris and Des Trufant. The Saints want to add an impact receiver or tight end. And there's mounting frustration among GMs that the last place Bengals and Redskins refuse to engage in trade talks. If that changes, A.J. Green, Geno Atkins, Trent Williams would all bring back a haul of draft picks. Boom! Can you get Mike Brown on the phone?
No, I don't think so. The last trade he made was me back in 1993 to the Jets. I don't know about that, but there is Kyler Murray. We're going to be talking a lot about this young man today. Former Heisman Trophy winner, only 4 interceptions thus far in the year.
Coming up on the NFL Today, the Rams' Andrew Whitworth brought his whole family to London this week.
We're going to London!
And they gave us full access as they got the royal treatment on their international adventure. Tom Brady and the Patriots have looked unbeatable this season.
The New England Patriots are undefeated 7-0, buddy.
But can they stay on the path to perfection today against Baker Mayfield and the Browns? Drew Brees has been busy rehabbing his thumb injury, but it hasn't gotten in the way of his favorite Friday night activity. Coach went down to New Orleans to see how the future Hall of Famer spends his night off. All that and more when the NFL Today returns. The NFL Today is presented by the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. This seat is reserved for the restless.
Many had predicted a down year for Indy, but that man there, Frank Reich, has his Colts in first place approaching the midpoint of the season, and that in the tough AFC South. He has his squad focused and ready to go to work today against the Broncos in this week's Golden Moments, brought to you by McDonald's.
The Colts do not expect Andrew Luck to walk back through that door ever.
It's trying to go to play. It's going to have an impact.
What are you doing at this point if you're Indianapolis?
Huge play. Touchdown pass by Brissett. Touchdown, T.Y. Hilton. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y.
The Colts offensive line is the best pound-for-pound line in the game.
Darius Leonard gets to him. Under pressure and goes down again. Justin Houston picked off by Malik Hooker. What a pick. The Colts are now the leaders in the AFC South.
Hey, no doubt about it, the Colts have certainly been getting her done, working hard on both sides of the ball. But even with the unexpected retirement of Andrew Luck, all we heard coming from the locker room was a collective confidence about the young man, Jacoby Brissett.
That's right, JB. And I've always thought when it comes to luck, it's just divine intervention. And that is exactly what Jacoby Brissett has been. AFC Offensive Player of the Week, over 300 yards and 4 TDs with that big win over the Houston Texans. But let's give credit to that offensive line as well. Only 7 sacks in 6 games. And Eric Ebron, one of those individuals who is a splash player. Not as many catches and touchdowns as last year, but I guarantee he'll come up big for his quarterback.
Well, you know, JB, talking about this Indianapolis Colts team, I just want to say they're getting it done. They're getting it done. One guy that's really doing it, Darius Leonard, was out with a concussion. He came back last week, and, man, he was on fire, running all over the field with the linebacker group that's really fast. He made the game-winning interception, which also was awesome. There's Joe Flacco. I got bad news for you, Joe. They got a good pass rush over there in Indy, so you better get rid of the football quick today.
Well, you know, and over in London, we've got a big game. The Rams is playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. And for the Los Angeles Rams, they had lost 3 straight games. And last week, Jared Goff had 3 touchdowns, 2 throwing, 1 running. They're looking for 10 straight wins over an AFC opponent. And who is he going to throw to? How about Cooper Kupp? Cooper Kupp is 2nd in the National Football League in receptions, 1st in the National Football League yards after catch. Along with Robert Woods, they are dynamic in the passing game. And on defensive side, look out. Aaron Donald's getting hot the last 2 weeks. 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Look out, Andy Dalton. And Boomer, the Jets are visiting Jacksonville. My question to you, are there ghosts in Jacksonville?
No, well, according to Sam Darnold, there are not ghosts in Jacksonville. At least he's not afraid of those ghosts that are not down there. And this is the back page of the New York Post this morning. What he put on film Monday night was not pretty. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have a good pass rush, said they're going to try to get underneath his skin. They're going to try to intimidate him, much like the Patriots did last Monday night. Now, for the Jets, it's been a long week here for a lot of reasons, both on the field and off the field. But today they get to go against Gardner Minshew, the rookie quarterback, the last 2 weeks, under 50% completion. If the Jets are going to win this game, it's going to be because of their defense and because Sam Darnold gets his act back together.
Hey, Boomer, and on a sad note, here's a man of character and integrity for sure. Hall of Fame cornerback Willie Brown passed away on Tuesday at the age of 78, that following a lengthy battle with cancer. The legendary Raider played 12 of his 16 NFL seasons in Oakland, and he helped the Raiders win their first Super Bowl title with his iconic interception return for a score against the Vikings in Super Bowl 11. And we here at the NFL Today send our condolences to his entire family, and we will keep them in our prayers. Saints quarterback Drew Brees is preparing to get back on the field for his matchup today against the Cardinals. Of course, after missing the last 5 games due to a thumb injury. And our coach, Bill Cowher, had a chance to talk to the future Hall of Famer about how he's bringing his love of football to the next generation.
Yeah, JB, I went to New Orleans to visit with Drew and found out that as a coach and co-founder of his nationally expanded flag football league, Football in America, he's been able to have as much fun on the field on Friday nights as he does on Sundays.
Let's have some fun. What do you say? Hey, attaboy, attaboy. Here we go, here we go, here we go, D. Be ready, be ready, be ready. Come on, guys, let's get one. Let's get one.
Play fast, guys. Play fast. Do your job. Right through the safety. Balin, right through the safety. Atticus, I'm going to come back, call that again. Be ready. Sam, line up tight. Hey, Mason, you're covering the center. Post to wheel. Okay, the wheel's probably going to be open, all right? Nice throw, buddy. Nice throw. Hey, let's get a stop right here. Go, 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 go. Go, James. Go, James. Yeah.
Here we are, Drew. Friday night with your kids. Football in America. Tell me how this came about.
Well, I've got 3 boys, Balin, Bowen, and Callan, and they're football crazy, as are most young boys, right. and girls as well. But right. They when they started playing flag football, this was like, father's dream, right? Chance to coach your kids and be involved kind of in another aspect of their life. And I think as we began to look around, we realized, there really is no true standard for flag football in this country, and especially in today's climate in regards to, head and neck injuries and how many parents are really concerned and don't necessarily want their kids to play until probably a certain age that they feel is appropriate. Well, what's the alternative? Well, we felt like there was a great opportunity to truly create the gold standard for flag football, a way in which these kids can learn the game, develop a love and a passion for the game, regardless of whether they ever go on and play tackle or not. Right. It's their exposure to the game that allows them to carry forward and be able to share that with their family.
Would I overthrown it?
Yeah, you just overthrew it. That's okay. But good job, man. Good. Hey, you know what I'd say? I'd say good read. Good read.
This is one of my greatest joys in life, honestly, is just watching my kids play. And if I can be a part of their development as an athlete as well, in addition to just being their father, it's such a great joy for me.
Hey, listen, I'm watching you get better and better every week. Do you know how much fun that is to watch that? Confidence? Dude, you did such a good job, man. Hey, I'm so proud of you. Great job. Love to watch you play, man.
This is your Friday nights now.
This is where we hunker down. This is ours. A mom is always looking at their child as a baby. I think it doesn't matter what age they are, they're always your baby. So injury is like the utmost, concern all the time. So for us, when we started this, Drew didn't play tackle football until he was in high school.
Until 9th grade, that's what he said, I know, which is amazing.
Are you asking do you think your husband's crazy for trying to coach 3 flag football games on Friday nights?
And have a normal job.
But you know what, though? Isn't that the balance?
Yeah.
Isn't that the balance? I mean, totally. I mean, it gives a perspective.
I look forward to Friday nights.
Right.
More than just about.
You start talking to Sean about certain plays, like on Fridays, before you can leave here. Like, you get your last name with Sean.
So I wish our whole quarterback room was here right now, because any break in the action, on like a Friday, it's like, hey, check this out. Tell me what you think about this. We'll install a play, and they'll be like, what do you think? And I'll be like, well, Friday night FNA, we ran this,
So we could be seeing some of these plays on Sunday.
Possible. Find who the rusher is, run straight at him, okay? And then once he gets past you, then I want you to turn around, okay?
Drew gets a little competitive in these things.
Listen, you can see, like, he starts, and even on the field, he starts doing, like, the shoulder twitch. Like, that's his, like, antsy tell right there. You'll see it now that I said that.
If we start seeing this?
Yeah, we're in trouble. Yeah. There's a couple times where he'll like, rub his head, take his hat off, and I'm like, oh, don't stress the kids out.
No, he was wide open right away. No excuses. Look at him, throw it to him. Oh, gosh, the wheel fell down. Gee whiz. Ref, are we calling flag on him? I mean, he stiff-armed our guy right here. Hey, the officials don't always get it right, you know what I'm saying?
Who's your best blitzer?
It's probably Steve Gleason's son. So Steve Gleason's son is on our next team, too. Rivers.
Rivers?
Yeah, little Rivers.
Hey, and listen, Rivers, anybody that comes running this direction, even if they don't have the ball, that's who your guy is, okay? Hey, Rivers, watch me. So if they throw it to him, you just run right and grab him, okay?
Do you see what the next stage of life is for you after the NFL?
Yes.
What is it?
This. Just being around my kids.
Right.
My family, coaching them, doing whatever they want to do. My daughter's into dance and ballet and everything. If she wants me to coach her at that, I'll do my best. I'll get out there and give it a try.
Hey, boys, good job. Good job, guys. Good job.
Get in front there.
And, JB, this guy is the very best the NFL has to offer. When you think about him, he's the ultimate role model. He puts his family first, and then he sits back and talks about the community. He's got a great passion for the game of football. He takes these kids, he teaches, he inspires. He is a special guy.
I heard some Bill Cowher-isms in him as well, too. But, it was an outstanding visit. But, Bill, it got even better.
It's only appropriate that I run into Steve Gleason on a Friday night down here in New Orleans. At a flag football game, no less.
Awesome. Yes, so great to see you. And I really respect your work.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that. You mean a lot, man. You're an inspiration to many, many, many people. And I just can't tell you how much I love you, respect you, adore you, and pull for you on a daily basis.
I love that you're covering this. Love you, my friend.
Thank you, Steve. You are the best. For those of you who don't know about Steve Gleason, in 2006, he blocked a punt that led to a win for the New Orleans Saints. For the first time in 21 months, they went back to New Orleans and played because of Hurricane Katrina. 2011, he was diagnosed with ALS. His story is well documented, but his determination is very inspiring.
That little exchange between you and Mr. Gleason gave credence to what John Wooden of UCLA fame used to say. The most important four-letter word you can use is love, and you two certainly showed that. All right, folks. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the field from the Saints today, the Cardinals. They're riding a 3-game win streak thanks in part to the play of their rookie quarterback who is making everyone take notice.
Kyler Murray.
The mighty Kyler Murray. Murray is into the end zone for the touchdown.
He's got a crazy skill set.
Murray can run it. He can throw it.
Some Murray magic for Arizona.
Is going to be special.
Now, Kyler Murray struggled initially out the gate. I want you to check out the first 4 games of the season and check out the balance, the rush versus the pass. 30% of the time they're running, and then 70% of the time they're going to pass the ball. But the last 3 weeks, they found that balance. 53% of the time they're rushing, and then the pass down to 47%. Things are changing for the Arizona Cardinals, and it's working.
Yeah, it is working. 2 things. Cliff Kingsbury calling different plays, and Kyler Murray is playing better. Just let me give you a taste of what they're doing on the offensive side. Here's a play-action pass. Pressure. Kyler Murray so quick, gets out of trouble, then resets, and what a release. Can he get rid of the football fast? That was to Larry Fitzgerald. Here's a play-action pass. You bite on it. You're worried about him running, the running back. He sets up outside the pocket, throws it over the top of the safety's head, and there's Damiere Byrd to make the catch. Here we go once again. He looks off the receiver, looks to the middle. Larry Fitzgerald coming out of the cut. Timing is great. He didn't have that early in the year. And last but not least, I like that Kingsbury is doing a good job of using his legs and keeping him safe. Quarterback draw, doesn't take a big hit. So this offense, it just keeps evolving. More plays added to it, keeping defenses, off balance.
I just found your best side.
Yes, thank you.
Right there. The one thing about this, and I think back to almost a year ago when Kyler Murray came in here with the Heisman Trophy. And you remember he was saying to us, I don't know about baseball, but there's something about being a quarterback coming out and 80,000 people either loving you or hating you.
Yep.
Well, today he's going to find 80,000 people that are probably going to hate him simply because they're playing in New Orleans. But he wanted to be a quarterback. And when you watch his development, the fact that he's only thrown 4 interceptions, it shows you that he is going to be a big-time player in this league.
You're right about that. That run-to-pass ratio in the beginning of the season, it had this offense all out of whack. But, Phil, just like your diet, when you find some balance, things look better. All right, JB, back to you.
So he talks about diet as he throws it to Mayfield, right? Hey, folks, we'll keep the conversation going here. But with kickoff just about a half hour away, it's time to set the scene at your game as we take you out first on the field, presented by DirecTV for the latest news and updates on your matchup.
Inside at the Superdome in New Orleans for the Cardinals and the Saints. Hi, everyone. With NFL MVP Rich Gannon, Kevin Harlan, the sports world found out that Drew Brees was coming back from the injury. Yesterday, he told our Rich Gannon Friday at practice.
He did, and Kevin, he's a fast healer for sure. 6 weeks after injuring his right thumb and having surgery, Brees returns to a team that has won 5 straight in his absence. I watched him closely at practice on Friday, and believe me, you won't notice a difference with regards to his velocity and accuracy.
The running back, Latavius Murray, again replaces the injured Alvin Kamara for the Saints.
Yeah, he had 119 yards and 2 touchdowns last week in the win over the Bears. He's a bigger back who's best tackle to tackle, and Michael Thomas leads the NFL in receptions and yards despite not having Brees the last 5 weeks.
But you've been watching a lot of tape, and you say Cardinal quarterback Kyler Murray has really impressed you.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. He's an incredible talent who can win games with his arm or legs, and a big reason why the Cardinals Cardinals have won 3 straight is their running game. Chase Edmonds rushed for 126 yards and 3 touchdowns last week, both career highs. And how about future Hall of Famer Larry Fitzgerald, who once again leads Arizona in receptions and yards.
For the Saints, an aggressive defense with their signature player, Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, he is a one-man wrecking crew as he can be equally disruptive versus the run and pass. Currently leads the Saints with 7 sacks.
How about last week for Arizona? Their Chandler Jones had 4 sacks up in New York against the Giants.
Yeah, the Saints better have a plan to slow down Chandler Jones. Kevin, as you said, he had a career-high 4 sacks last week. And speaking of sacks, Patrick Peterson had a sack at his return to the lineup after serving a 6-game suspension. He'll match up with Michael Thomas in coverage.
The Cardinals are not turning it over. They've won 3 straight. The Saints have won 5 in a row. They welcome back their quarterback, Drew Brees, back to the NFL Today in New York after this on CBS.
A reminder, in Game 2 of our doubleheader today, many of you will see the Browns taking on the defending champion Patriots and head coach Bill Belichick as he goes for win number 300. Others will get the Raiders at the Texans. That comes your way, 4:25 Eastern, right here on CBS. And as the NFL celebrates its 100th season, Coach Belichick has already left an indelible mark on the league.
Stupid thing. We all, at one point or another, have played for a coach who's a jerk.
I can't stand it. Run it again. Huddle up and run it again, Brady. Just do your job. I mean, come on, fellas.
It's good to win. We got a long way to go. We'll face another challenge next week. We'll get on to Miami next week. San Diego next week. We're on to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati. Sure, that's what you were looking for.
The New England Patriots have won 6 Super Bowl championships.
We're champs!
Tremendous feeling when it was over. Yeah, we'll celebrate. We'll celebrate it hard.
No days off! No days off!
How sweet is this one of all the ones you've had? It's sweet. It's sweet.
Everybody counted us out, but we're still here.
So Coach Belichick stands on the doorstep of history with 299 wins. His next one will place him in an elite group with 2 of the game's all-time great coaches. And then we now go inside the pregame HQ delivered by Domino's. So Belichick's Patriots have been rolling their way to a 7-0 start so far. Impressive indeed, but boomers always say, JB, let's put that record in perspective.
Well, look at who they played the first 7 weeks. And not great quarterbacks. Now, the next 7 quarterbacks will be Mayfield, Jackson, Wentz, Prescott, Watson, and, of course, the big one with Mahomes a little bit later on this season. Now, I don't want to take anything away from him. I mean, what he has done is spectacular. And the records speak for themselves. The players speak for themselves. The way that they play speaks for themselves, especially defensively this year. And today is going to be a slop mess. It's going to be in the rain. And it's not going to be easy for Baker Mayfield against that defense.
You know, and the one thing that you go against Bill Belichick, he may blitz you a whole game, and he may sit there and throw coverage at you the whole game. And I think the biggest thing right now for Baker Mayfield, who's had 11 interceptions, 12 turnovers, is for Freddie Kitchens to dial this back a little bit right now. Because you know what? You go into this game, ease into it. It's going to be rainy. You can't turn the football over. And their 2 wins, he only has 2 turnovers. And their 4 losses, he's got 10 turnovers. So the one thing you want to do right now is simplify the game plan, get a feel for what Bill Belichick is going to do, because he's going to give you something different you haven't been prepared for. Get the mindset of right now, Baker. Take care of the football, better judgment, don't turn it over.
Let's see. Baker Mayfield, decisions are way too aggressive. So you are right. That's one thing. And I think he's trying to throw the football so hard that he loses control. When you lose control of the football, we know it's going to be bad. It's going to interceptions. For Cleveland to win today, the strength of their defense is the defensive line. It hasn't played great. They need to step it up. But New England's defense, Boomer, it travels and works every week. They built their defense differently than most teams in the NFL. They built it from the defense, from the back to the front. It wasn't about the pass rush. It's their secondary. It's the deepest, best, and fastest secondary in football, and they are tough to deal with.
Yeah, speaking of defenses, you remember the days when OBJ used to pump fear in the defenses? That's not the case. You guys mentioned it. He's getting open, so is Jarvis Landry, but Baker Mayfield is struggling to give him the ball. Now, he hasn't been a disgruntled employee. He hasn't been a distraction. But you know what? Maybe he needs to go out there and act like Keyshawn Johnson and say, give me the damn ball. Because here's the thing. Adam Thielen did it. Stephon Diggs did it. And guess what? they're rolling right now.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. We used to play Chad Ochocinco in Cincinnati, and if he didn't get the ball, he got frustrated. So I'll tell you, if you don't get him the ball, and Bill Belichick will take him away, what does he become? He gets frustrated. He becomes a distraction in a huddle, and he all of a sudden now becomes a hurdle the offense has to go over. So I'm telling you right now, keep the ball away from him. He'll be the best defense you have. Him in a huddle, shown his mannerisms.
And just remember, guys, there's also another big game in the AFC today, and this is going to be the Raiders at the Texans. Both of these teams coming off of losses last week. I expect Derek Carr to have a huge game against this Texans secondary. The winner of this game now all of a sudden becomes kind of the driver in the quest for at least a wild card in the AFC.
And there's Michael Thomas, who goes by Can't Guard Mike on Twitter. Well, I guarantee you this, Patrick Peterson for the Cardinals is going to have something to say about that.
Well, we'll see.
The NFL Today is sponsored by Corona Extra. Find your beach. Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem. And by the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. This seat is reserved for the restless.
As part of our Huddle for 100, NFL players, teams, and fans have rallied to volunteer 50 million minutes so far. And we're inviting you to join your favorite squad to make an impact on your community. And let's hit that 100 million minutes goal together. Make your minutes count at NFL.com/huddle for 100. Meanwhile, let's go across the pond for a look at Rams offensive lineman Andrew Whitworth warming up on the field at Wembley Stadium, where he'll face off against his old squad, the Bengals. We first got to know Whitworth and his family 8 months ago at Super Bowl 53. We had so much fun with them in Atlanta, we thought we'd join them once again, this time in London.
We knew we were playing Cincinnati this year, and obviously a place that was near and dear to us. Once we realized it was going to be in London, I thought, you know what a cool adventure. What an opportunity to bring the kids and the family and let them experience it as well.
We're going to see the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace. Look, how cool.
I thought, you know, this is still something that would be great for the kids. Instead of learning things in a textbook, they can experience it firsthand.
Wow, those are epic. Being one of those guards would not be a job for me because they're trained to not talk or move. That's not their hair. That's the hat they have to wear. Hi! Don't catch that one. Go away, squirrel. Thanks, Cannon.
I was honestly really excited for the rain because that's like what you hear about London is that it's raining and foggy, and I wanted to get the full experience.
Oh, wow. It's like a little pond. Yeah. Wow. This is cool. This is awesome.
Football means soccer here in London, but what does football mean here?
It's called American football here.
That's kind of weird. There's Big Ben.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Hey, are y'all excited to take the tube?
Oh, yeah! Go to the tube! Go to the tube!
I feel really strongly that we're not bothering the locals at all.
Sounds like a roller coaster!
You can stand up or sit down on the train. That's not safe for y'all. I didn't make for y'all. All right, guys, this is our stop.
You know what? I'm jealous. I mean, what a cool trip. I don't know that I've had a vacation this cool in my lifetime. I just hope they look back on it one day and can appreciate what a unique opportunity it was.
Wow.
Hey, look down. Look down. You can see the cars.
Makes me really nervous.
Oh, motorcycles!
That doesn't scare y'all getting on there?
No!
We're checking out of our hotel here, and then we're going to Daddy's hotel. And we're going to spend the evening after he gets out of practice with Daddy.
Yay!
We are only away from him the amount of time that we absolutely have to be away from him. Other than that, we're always finding a way to make sure that we can at least spend some time together.
Oh, look. This is neat.
When you're sipping, keep your elbow like this. Elbow
tuck.
What's the pinky rule?
That's actually bragging about how good you are.
That's rude.
Yeah, so you never want to put your pinky out.
Michael, you really learned something.
That's a great job, Mike.
That was excellent.
You know, the greatest thing you can do for your kids is to never leave them. Just take them with you everywhere you go. Whatever it is you do, bring them with you and teach them how to be in that moment. Teach them how to act. Teach them how to handle those things. If you invite Whit and Melissa, the kids are coming too. And so get ready for a party.
Hey, and a big wave from us back to you, the Whitworth family, for allowing us to hang out with you. And that's the balance that Bill was talking about between family and football.
JB, let me just tell you something. Big Whit is something special. He is a terrific athlete. And in regards to him as a player and how it affected both of these teams, the Bengals and the Rams, when he left the Bengals as a free agent to go to the Rams, the Bengals basically fell apart. Let's face it. And he was the final piece of that offensive line to make it go for Todd Gurley and Jared Goff and Sean McVay. So what a great dude, what a great guy, and I'm just so happy that he is so happy himself.
And you will be the first piece in this that we have coming up. Time now, folks, for another round of Believe or Make Believe, and we'll begin with Boom A. The Rams will make the playoffs this season, fellas. Believe or Make Believe.
Why didn't you start with Phil?
Yeah.
No,
Why aren't you
Boomer,
starting with
go on,
Phil?
Boomer. Let's hear what you got to say.
You don't want to hear what I have to say?
Yeah, I do. I can't wait.
Drew Kaliski is saying let's start with Boomer.
You know what? I'm going to say that the Rams are going to make the playoffs. Ooh. I do believe. Looking at their schedule, looking at how they're playing, they went all in getting Jalen Ramsey. There are rumors that they may trade some other guys before the trade deadline this coming up week. Todd Gurley looks to be healthy. I think that Jared Goff is out of his funk. I say yes, they're going to make it as a wild card.
I agree with you 100%. We can't just throw away the fact that they have experience. If you look at what they've done the last couple of years, they're trending in the right direction to continue to do what they've done. Now, I get it. The NFC West is loaded, but this experience that the squad has for everything that they have been through over the last couple of seasons is going to help at the end of the year.
100%? 100%, really?
I'm going with 100%.
Okay, so I'm just saying, what about Carolina? What about Green Bay, Minnesota? I mean, when you look at this division, they got 3 conference losses already, 2 of them in their own division. So and you say Jared Goff, 3 consecutive games, he's now thrown under 60%, and I agree, they will go as far as he takes them. But right now, I got some questions about them. I think this NFC is loaded. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Oh, it's interesting. I got questions about all you guys, the way you treated me today. That's another thing. Hey, look, I believe they're going to make it because of this. I have faith in Wade Phillips. They went out and got Jalen Ramsey. That's going to help them on the defensive side. And Sean McVay, he's kind of adapted this year, I think, to the NFL, helping his team out. I believe, JB, that they will make the playoffs.
Time now for the upset picks presented by Allstate Boom A.
All right, it's been a long week around here for the Jets and for Sam Darnold. I'm taking the Jets over the Jaguars. Yes, I said that, America.
All right, I'm looking at the Panthers-49ers game, and this is less about me not believing in the Niners and more about the Panthers believing in Kyle Allen. I'm going with the Panthers over the 49ers.
And I love you, Buffalo Nation. I'll tell you, Buffalo Mafia. But you know what?
Bills Mafia.
The Philadelphia Eagles. The Bills Mafia, Philadelphia Eagles got embarrassed last week on national TV. And I'll tell you what, when you get embarrassed, you come back. I'm picking right now the Eagles.
Yeah, who's in last in the pick segment? That would be Bill. So, okay, that was a great pick, Bill. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Why? Because I believe in Andy Reid. He's going to design an offense for Matt Moore, and they will upset the Green Bay Packers.
Kickoff is just, thank God, a few minutes away. We'll get you out to your game next.
Stop it.
How you like those down?
NFL Today is presented by the all-new 2020 Jeep Gladiator. This seat is reserved for the restless.
And welcome back to the NFL Today. And now Game Day Delivery presented by Amazon Prime takes you out live to New Orleans for the sights and sounds of the game between the Cardinals and the Saints. Let's join our announcers, Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, and Jay Feely.
Welcome to the Superdome in New Orleans for the Arizona Cardinals and the New Orleans Saints. And after missing 5 games, the Saints get quarterback Drew Brees back today, while the Cardinals are riding rookie quarterback Kyler Murray. That sets the stage for this afternoon. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Kevin Harlan with the NFL MVP, Rich Gannon. We'll check in with Jay Feely in just a moment. Well, the sports world found out yesterday that Drew Brees was coming back and going to play today. But, Rich, he told you at practice on Friday.
He did, and we also found out, Kevin, that Drew Brees is a fast healer. Keep in mind, he tore that ulnar collateral ligament in his right thumb September 15th. 3 days later, he had internal brace ligament augmentation surgery. And with this particular procedure, you can begin the rehab immediately. So he spent 10 days working with a physical therapist in Los Angeles. He returned to practice this week. And I watched him closely on Friday, and I can tell you that you won't notice a difference with regards to his velocity and accuracy throwing the football.
Let's go down to the field and check in with Jay. And Jay, week 2 injury, the complicated surgery, the subsequent rehab. Where is he now coming into this afternoon's game?
Well, Kevin, I talked to Drew after warm-ups. He said he feels great. He's wearing a protective tape brace similar to this on his hand to add protection. He also has the internal brace. That acts like sutures in there, like a seatbelt, not allowing the ligament to move too far and stretch too much. He's feeling really good, throwing the ball well. I asked him, though, hey, you have this week and a bye week. Why not allow 2 more weeks of healing? He said, I love this game. I love to compete. Rich, he just wants to be out there.
Yeah, Jay, he does. I think the biggest concern that I would have as a quarterback for someone who hasn't played and handled the football in 6 weeks is ball security, especially facing a defense that has 22 sacks, including a league-high 10 strip sacks.
Well, the fact that they're in the best division in pro football, Rich, they need that defense.
Yeah, their defense has really come on strong during this 3-game winning streak. It starts with their pass rush. They have 2 excellent edge rushers in Chandler Jones and Terrell Suggs. Last week, this defense had 8 sacks and 3 takeaways versus the Giants.
Rich, you've been watching a lot of tape. How have you assessed the play of rookie Cardinal quarterback Kyler Murray so far?
Well, it's been fun to watch his development because he's an incredible talent who can beat you with his arm or legs. He has an extremely quick release, and when the protection breaks down, he can create plays with his escapability and arm talent.
All right, that now takes us to Do Project Smarter. It's presented by The Home Depot.
Well, with David Johnson out, the onus once again falls on the shoulders of Chase Edmonds, who showed last week that he's more than capable, rushing for 126 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Drew Brees would be smart to keep feeding Michael Thomas the ball as he leads the league in receptions and yards. And now for the keys to today's game, it will be important for the Saints to get Drew Brees off to a good start after the long layoff. And the Cardinals need to stick with what's been working, running the ball on offense and taking it away on defense.
The Cardinals have won 3 straight. They are at 500. The Saints are in first place. They've won 5 in a row. And welcome back their starting quarterback today. From New Orleans, the Arizona Cardinals, the New Orleans Saints on CBS.